when are people going to realise that we haven't got one TD in this country who's actually working for the betterment of the Irish people? They're all working for the UN Agenda 2030, and they're working for the World Economic Forum. I mean, we have Heather Humphreys, who's supposedly TD for social protection, Minister for Social Protection, but she announces a 13 million euro fund to tackle vacancy and dereliction in rural Ireland, which basically is every council can apply for a 500,000 grant to buy 3 buildings to redevelop into multi-purpose community facilities. Now, we all know what that means. Everything is connected, and it falls under the Rural Future and Ireland's Town Centre First, which is another word for smart cities, and the TVRS, which is Town Village Renewal Scheme. Open your eyes. That's not for the Irish people. Why hasn't she done any of this for the Irish homeless, who we have nearly 12,000, nearly just under 4,000 children? Why was none of this ever done for the Irish people? Then we've got Simon. He's supposed to be the Minister for the Future and Higher Education, Research and Innovation and Science, and he announces a 1 billion European social fund plus programme investment in employment and skills and social inclusion. Again, not for the Irish. Then I look at Roderick. I can't stand that weasel. Now, he's been targeting our children. He has been targeting our children for a long time in this country, and he set up a National Youth Council of Ireland, and in February of this year they met with the UN. In February this year they met with the National Youth Council of Ireland, and they met with the UN youth delegates, the youth voices and the Concarlin and Og, because Roderick set up a Concarlin and Og and Dáil and Og, and basically which gives our children, the youth of Ireland, a voice in this country. But what they've been doing is teaching our children about climate change, and for the first time in this year they were brought and they were given a voice against climate change. And in this document I have, which is the Voluntary National Review, it's the first time Ireland was the first country to involve our children into this document, into this UN agenda. So in September, the UN will host the 5DG Summit, which marks their midpoint of the 2030 agenda. Ireland and Qatar have been appointed to co-facilitate the negotiations on the political declaration of the summit. Now, folks, I have huge issues with this, because we the people didn't sign up to this agenda. We the people didn't sign up to this poxy little UN agenda or the World Economic Forum. But here's what our people are supposed to be saying, right? So Micheál Martin, the little weasel, he says, and this is word for word from him, we will strive to ensure the declaration gives a clear statement of direction to show that the future envisaged in the 2030 agenda blueprint is one that we are determined to make a reality. Eamon Ryan, he states, Ireland stands ready to work nationally and internationally to accelerate Agenda 2030 and to create a better future for all. There's that little inclusive thing again. And then you have Leo. We believe the commitments set out in the roadmap are realistic yet ambitious, and our agenda is clear: to make Ireland one of the most socially inclusive countries in the EU over the coming 5 years. This was done in 2020, folks, just to give you a bit of hindsight. Now, I'll attach all the documents there, and if anyone wants the full documents to read, message me and I'll send them straight to you. But open your eyes. These people are not for the Irish people. They've sold us out to the UN and the World Economic Forum. They're not for the Irish people, so it's about time we start holding these people accountable. You've got Eamon Ryan, Micheál Martin, Leo, you're not even that important, I can't even remember your name, Simon Harris and Heather Humphreys. But there's more, they're all complicit, but these ones now are the ones we have to go for first, because they're going to UN in September. So I think we need to make it very visibly clear that the people are not going to accept this anymore. So get over there in September and tell them we're opting out, because the game's up. The Irish people are done.
Rising homelessness, and I can guarantee you that there's no lack of money, no lack of political will, no lack of care or compassion from government in this regard, but we are finding it very difficult to deal with this problem. We've a rising population, rising incomes, new households being formed every day, and we had a 7 or 8 year period where almost no homes were built. So in that period we should have had maybe 200,000 homes built, but the banks collapsed, the government was broke, the construction industry is on the floor, and we're trying to catch up from all of that.
But there's no lack of money now, as